Really rude, actually.
I'm sorry.
That was mean.
I'm sorry, baby. I think you're a beautiful complexion.
My husband just called me darky. Oh, you see, you're laughing. That's so rude and mean. I turned on this overhead light that we have in our room that we never use.
Right?
I think it's just because it's a little bit too light. Um, just for casual use. Like I guess we're just kind of used to like the dim look. But I don't know. I might start turning it on for when I do videos because I'm dark and sometimes it's hard. Like the quality already, our walls are already weird. Like the color, we don't have white walls. We have like cream colored walls, and then like one of our walls is like I guess what's supposed to be like a decorative wall, and it's like a orange light color. So the lighting's really weird. And then in my living room, our decorative wall is like earthy lime green color, and the other walls are cream. So we don't have the best um, lighting on camera. I guess it's comfortable like if you're in the home, but on camera, it just the light bouncing off the walls and the video, and it just is not the prettiest. Um, but yeah, so
You're the prettiest.
no, apparently I'm a darky, according to you. And you laugh harder every time I say that. Isn't
Because
he
you know I'm just
mean?
messing
He's
with
so
you,
mean. And I
right?
already have been feeling self-conscious and huge and gross. Like I have a pimple on my forehead and big and gross. And then you call me darky.
You're not big or gross.
But I'm a darky. He had to
No.
hold back his laugh that time. I watched him. And then he laughs.
I don't understand why you do this to yourself.
You're laughing and you're the one that's name calling.
You're beautiful. And I
Oh,
love
honey,
you.
you're so beautiful, darky. Anyway, you might as well have called me a tar baby, honestly.
Prom night, dumpster baby.
Anyway,
I love you.
sure you do. Yeah, like since we're talking about that, I've just been feeling really unattractive lately. I don't know what it is. I know what it is. I know exactly what it is. We kind of went down memory lane today. We watched a lot of our old videos, and I've been seeing like some old pictures of myself. And it's funny, at the time, I thought I was huge. No, I'm gonna lose weight, and I was kind of addicted to diet pills and
I forgot about that.
dieting and just like it's not that I was unhealthy. I had an unhealthy mindset. So I was healthy in the sense I was working out moderately and eating decently and in moderation. I wasn't a water drinker. I hated water, but I would drink juice and I guess like diet soda, I guess, which is not
juice
very
is not good for you at all.
well, all natural juice is okay for you. I mean, it's still got a lot of sugar in it, but natural sugar is better than I need all the light I can get. Can you please turn that away? Please.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think it'll help. Let's see. A little bit. So anyway. Yeah, so um I wasn't unhealthy, but I had this mindset of I've got to be small, smaller, smaller, smaller. At one point, I was wearing a size 5 in jeans, which is crazy to think that I ever could fit my fat thighs and butt in a size 5. And maybe it was just the brand of jeans, but I was typically like a size 7 or a 9, which was actually a comfortable weight for me. And that was my smallest weight. I think my smallest, well, that was my smallest size, I mean, but I think my smallest weight was like I think it was like 135 pounds or something like that, which I actually don't want to be that small again, but I would love to be like 160 again. That's like my goal. And if we're being honest, don't tell anybody, I'm at least 200 pounds now. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like 210. And I have said that to like my mom or a couple of other people, and they're like, you don't look it at all. But I know that I am, so I feel it. And I know that I've gained a lot of weight since I've gotten married, and it's happy weight, la la la, and that's great. but you know, I can still be just as happy, but a bit smaller. Um, and apparently, like my mom messaged me today, I encouraged her, or I inspired her, as she says. She like joined a gym today, and it's the gym that I was thinking about joining because she's going to Ethiopia in March. And she's super excited about that. She has wanted to go to Ethiopia since she was a little girl, and she's going for like missionary work, and it's so sweet, and I'm so happy for her. But there's going to be a lot of walking and a lot of work done while she's there. So she kind of wants to get in shape and prepare for that. So I'm going to help her with that, and helping her with that will be the excuse that I need to kind of boost myself to start doing better. You know, again, I don't want to be like super small or anything. A big thing that I dealt with when I was younger was I wanted to have a flat stomach. I have never, ever, 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 ever in my whole life had a flat tummy. Maybe when I was smaller, like under the age of 5, but I've never had a flat tummy. I've always been a chubby person, like a chubby kid. I lost a bunch of weight as a teenager, and then I got married, and it came off. It came right back, probably more than it was before I started losing weight years ago. But I'm just not very comfortable in my skin, and I was given the advice a few days ago, actually, to learn to accept myself and love myself. Because my husband loves me just the way I am. And it's beautiful advice.
Damn right I do.
And I love that my husband loves me. I do, and I believe him. But I can be better, you know.
Better than what?
Better
than what I want you to be?
No, you want me to be me. And that's sweet what you're saying. But if you honestly said, I like you this size, don't change, that would be fine with me. And you would say that because I'm this size. But if I was 250 pounds, he would say that. And if I was 130 pounds, he would say that because he loves me. And it's beautiful. But because you love me, no matter how I look, no matter how much weight I gain or how much weight I lose, that honestly, me not doing anything for myself is just an excuse. You love me the way I am, regardless to how I am. And I won't be doing this for you, but doing it for myself. And if I can do something to make myself feel better, then I will do that, and you will love me just the same. So it has to be for me. The same way I was telling him the other day, I'm kind of over this color in my hair. I never really liked the dye job, honestly. When I did it, I just wasn't a fan of it. It didn't come out the way I wanted it to come out. And I miss the dark hair. I honestly just miss my hair being like really, really dark, like blue, black, dark, like really dark. And I think I'm going to dye it back black. And I told myself a couple of months ago, oh, I'll probably never dye it back black because it takes too much to lighten it again. But if I want to color my hair again in the future, I'll just do that too. But right now, I want my hair back black. So I'm going to dye my hair back black. And my husband, wow, I'm sure he has a preference. Ultimately, he doesn't really care what color my hair is. He just likes my hair. So I kind of use that as an example. If my hair is this auburn color or black, he's going to love it the same. If I am 200 pounds or 160 pounds, he's going to love me the same. The difference is one of them I prefer and the other I do not. So I'm going to do my best to do something about it and not necessarily focus so much on I have to be a certain size, but I would like to, at the very least, be more active, eat a little better, and the weight will come off eventually. But it's really a health thing. I want to feel better. So I'm going to work on that. You know, I'm going to do that. There are a lot of changes coming next year, and that will be one of them. So I'm not going to put stress on myself. Oh, you have to be this size or lose this amount of weight or eat this way. Baby steps. And I want it to be a long-term thing and not a diet. I don't want to be the 16-year-old girl I used to be, where I was addicted to diet pills and, you know, having an unhealthy mindset about weight loss and about being healthy. So anyway, I didn't mean to rant for 10 minutes about that, because that's not what I wanted my video to be about. But
what you want your video to be about?
Well, I just wanted to talk about Vanessa, honestly. It meant a lot to me to be a part of helping someone be more open-minded and to come to terms about things that they once believed or things that they're dealing with or questioning. um, I have done that one other time in my life, and it's a big deal to me to play a part in that because I remember going through that. I grew up in a very religious household, and breaking away from that takes a lot of courage, and it can be hard. Um, Even when you start questioning, the hardest part is not accepting what you have come to terms with or what you're questioning or the fact that you are questioning, but realizing and kind of admitting to yourself and even to other people that you are probably not religious anymore, or you don't believe the things that you were brought up to believe. And that can be hard when you spent, X amount of years or most of your life being told this is true. I always tell my husband, or the way I explain it to him, is Christianity and the things that I was brought up to believe were as true for me as learning my one, two, threes and ABCs.
That's the
I
way
didn't.
It's presented to you.
It's the way it was presented to me. It wasn't a matter of it being true or not. It just was. And you heard about people who believed other things or didn't believe in things at all, and you just thought that they were weird, or you would pray for them. It wasn't an option that was given to me to not be that. So it took a lot to break away from that. It took a lot to realize that I just wasn't religious anymore. Even after I started questioning things and after I kind of broke away from Christianity in a sense, my husband and I, well, I kind of adopted it from him, went with the term of a free thinking Baptist. And over the years, we've kind of dropped that because that's just not the case anymore. While I do appreciate the way I was raised, even though I don't believe those things anymore, it allowed me to become the woman that I am today. I had to break away from it in my own way, in my own time. But it didn't make it easy. The transition, it wasn't an overnight process. It took me years to get to where I am now. And hopefully next year and years after that, I'll be able to look back at this moment and be even stronger and have grown even more from where I am now, because it's not a destination, it's about the journey. I like to think I'm a very open person, and I don't consider myself religious or at least a part of any organized religion, but I'm also not an atheist. I am just open to learning as much as I can, and what makes sense to Asia or any facts that are presented to me, I can adjust and apply that way of thinking to my current way of thinking. So that's very important to me, to always be open. And it meant a lot to me to play a part in helping someone through that process. And it really just kind of took me back to when I was going through that. And I had a few people who helped me through that. And those people who helped me through it, including my husband, are the same people who I like to think I am still growing with. And when I come across information that I think may be helpful or useful to our way of thinking, I can pass that along to them. And if they come across something, that can pass that along to me. And it's a support system that has helped me and that encourages me to stay on track and encourages me to explore more. Again, unlike organized religion, I'm not just within a certain set of rules and I have to follow these rules. I'm encouraged to constantly explore, even if it, is completely different than what we would usually think. And I appreciate that. And I know that when you're going through that kind of transition, coming out of religion, specifically, it can be very helpful to have a support system or have people who can just help you through that, answer questions, just be there for you. And like me, she, most of her family is very religious. So I'm sure that's a big scary thing, um, that she's dealing with. How am I going to break this to them? How am I going to tell them I'm not religious or I'm questioning things? And the advice that I gave her was, don't be afraid to say how you feel or what you're thinking, or the transition you're going through, or the fact that you don't believe certain things anymore. But also, don't feel pressured to say that either. This is your journey. This is your process. This is something that you're going to be hopefully doing for a long time, constantly growing, constantly applying new information to your way of thinking. And I said it to her, and I didn't even realize it until I said it, but I didn't officially tell my mother or just certain people that I wasn't a Christian or I wasn't religious until like earlier this year. And I haven't been religious for some years now. And it just really made me realize that it shouldn't be a pressure. Just because you break away from religion doesn't mean that you have to go and tell the world immediately. I'm not saying you have to pretend, but there shouldn't be a pressure to go and tell everyone what you believe, because just because you break away from religion doesn't mean that you have all the answers. I don't have all the answers, but I have a lot more answers than I did when I was in religion. So again, just talking with her and watching videos and answering questions, I found myself having questions too while watching things, like, wow, I never realized this. And my husband is the more book smart one when it comes to like the Christian Bible and certain religions and things like that. And it was just interesting, and it kind of took me back in remembering how that journey was. And it felt nice to be able to be helpful. But also, while I was being helpful, or at least trying my best to be helpful, I found myself kind of asking myself, what is it that I believe right now? What do I not believe? What is the difference between my beliefs and the belief structure that I came from? And I like to be challenged, because I feel as though if I can't, or if I'm scared of being challenged or asked why I believe what I believe or what I believe, then I probably don't really believe it. And
that's good. I like that.
Thanks. It just it was interesting having that conversation with a different person. So often, or I think I get used to, or I am used to, having certain conversations with my husband, or certain conversations with my sister or a brother, or even my niece and nephews. But these are people who are kind of where I am, or at least have a similar mindset. And while that's constantly encouraging,
a new person.
Yeah, here's someone who, not just someone new to talk to about it, but someone who is where I was a few years ago. And in a sense, it was kind of like talking to like old Asia. And I don't mean that in an offensive way towards her at all. But it was kind of like, what advice would current Asia give old Asia, who was going through that, So anyway, so again, while it was helpful, where I tried my best to be helpful towards her, I think it was therapy for me as well. And I know it warmed my husband's heart, because this is something that he has been trying to do for a long time. Not force it on her or anything like that, not even force our way of thinking, but show her, hey, it's okay to question things. You should be able to question things. anything that doesn't encourage you to question, or things that try to shut you up or keep you locked in, or you have to abide by these certain rules or laws, there's probably something going on. So we spent most of our day doing that, and it was a productive day. When I woke up this morning, I was a bit frustrated because I wanted to sleep longer, and we had a couple of inspections today, and then our sink has been leaking.
Well, I forgot all about that.
Our sink has been leaking and acting up, so they spent a good hour and a half, 2 hours working on that. It was a lot of noise, and they ended up replacing a couple of things, and that was a whole process. But then I got I got a response to I got a response from someone, and it meant a lot to me, and it instantly brightened my mood. Last night I was kind of dealing with stuff. I think I kind of talked about it in my video. Yeah. I was kind of dealing with stuff. And I kind of talked about it a little bit. But for me, it's nice sometimes, and this is something that's kind of new, where I now have an outlet where I can express myself. And maybe it's a confidence issue, but sometimes I feel like I don't explain myself very well. And even if I do explain myself decently, it's hard to express how I feel about something. Or sometimes there are things that just I don't have a word to use to express that feeling or that thought. And even if I am able to get it out, sometimes I just want to be heard. And I think a lot of times when you're talking to someone, even if they're quiet and they're listening, they are forming their opinion and ready to respond to you or find a solution. And while solutions are great for problems, sometimes it's not necessarily a problem. Sometimes you just want to be understood. And that's something I felt like I haven't been getting lately. And again, nothing against my husband or anyone else, but it's just how I felt. And I have found an outlet. I have found someone who I'm able to do that with, someone who means a big deal. They're a big deal to me and means a lot. And it's nice knowing that I have that. And I won't go into too many details here because frankly, I don't even want to say it's private, but it's one of those things where I just can't really explain to you. But again, since these videos are for me, I know exactly who I'm talking about and what I'm talking about, and that's enough.
Hey, sometimes you just got to be a little secretive.
Yeah, and it's not even necessarily me being secretive. It's just, as I said before, sometimes there are things that I can't put into words. And this is just one of those things that I can't put into words or explain. But while it's something that I now hold in high regard and something that I go to often, I am now getting a response. And that response has helped me and has encouraged me to continue to be the best Asia possible. And it was what I needed today. So after I was a little frustrated with all the commotion, I got that and it brightened my mood. And then we went right into helping Vanessa and watching videos and spending some time with her. And it was a long day, but it was a very productive day. And it was nice. And I think it was needed for everyone involved. So that was my day. And this is probably the longest video I've done in a long time. It's almost 25 minutes long.
Wow. Really?
But yeah, it is. But I'm gonna go now because my sleeping pills are starting to kick in and my tea is probably getting cold, and I don't know if we're still gonna watch a movie or not, but we're at the very least gonna spend a little time together. So good night.